Hello and welcome back to Tinker Talks Guns. So, recently I reviewed the Tisas Zigana FC double action, single action, 9mm service size pistol. And my initial impressions were very favorable. And in the first 100 rounds, I fired a random mix of any ammo I could scrape up, which included bullet weights between 65 and 160 grains. Hollow points, ball, flat points. The gun just ate them all, except for in the first 200 rounds, 2 rounds of Winchester white box, which failed to extract. Winchester white box is kind of crap, so I'm not sure I can count that against the gun. I also had one of my 100 grain hand load match loads that turned out to be out of spec and failed to chamber, and could not in fact be driven into the chamber. Not a knock on the gun. So I did the update at 450 rounds, quite impressed, and now the gun has well over 1,000 rounds through it. The only thing that has changed is the double action trigger. There are these 2 little clicks when you first start. These were both audible and tactile when I got the gun. Within 200 rounds, they're pretty much just audible now. You don't notice them or feel them, but you can hear them. The gun's performance has been exemplary. Today, we were firing it with some spicy European surplus NATO ammo. How spicy was it? I hear you cry. It was so spicy that my friend fired a half dozen rounds through his gun, and it kicked hard enough that he just said, "Here, you can have the rest of the box." I proceeded to shoot them through this gun and was able to produce quite a nice rapid fire group at 7 yards. And the porting works better, of course, the hotter the ammo is. And the recoil was not at all objectionable in this gun, which, to be fair, is a quarter pound heavier than the gun he was firing them through. Regardless, the gun has been what I consider very reliable, with only ammunition-related issues being a problem, and very damn few of those. It's a good gun. Before we move on to range footage and the tabletop, I'd like to take a moment to thank my Patreons. This all costs money, and your contributions help more than you know. In fact, you are directly responsible for the 1,000 rounds of ammo that I fired through this gun. I'll shout out to channel benefactors like John H. and Pat H. and a bunch of other people and businesses that have just been very, very helpful to the channel. So thank you all. So let's have a look at some gratuitous range footage and then move to the tabletop. So if you missed the previous review and the update, first, shame on you. Second of all, this is double action, single action. First shot's double action, subsequent shots are single action. The safety is a hammer drop and a safety. And it works as you would expect. Ergonomics on it are interesting because usually I have trouble with safeties of this nature. This one I don't. Good job. Now, I did replace the grips with these neoprene grips from the gun show sample gun that was donated to the channel. And I did alter the sights because they were originally 3-dot sights that I found horrible. And so I filed off the dot and cut 40 line per inch checkering and painted the front sight orange, and they work terrific now. I don't know what pattern these sights are or what you could replace them with. Although this looks kind of CZ-ish, I'm not sure. The gun has DNA from varying sources, Smith & Wesson, SIG, and Beretta, but apparently it's all good stuff because it all works. The slide operation out of the box was glass smooth, and it hasn't gotten worse. The trigger has improved, as noted, and it feels very good in the hands. Everyone who's fired this gun has liked it a lot, and that does not just include people with large hands like mine. Somebody with very small hands might find the reach on the double action trigger to be a bit much for them. But it is not light, it's not really heavy, but it is exceptionally smooth. And as noted, those two little clicks you hear, you don't really feel those anymore after the first 200 rounds through the gun. So, and the fit and finish, the internal machining, everything about this is very, very well done. These holes up here, which, aside from lightening it slightly and making it look cool, they actually serve a function in terms of venting gases from the ports, which do have their own distinct dedicated ports, but it's also acts as good forward slide serrations. Very easy to outrun the gun from the front. Of course, it isn't cut for an optic because it's an older design. There does appear to be room to put in an optics cut. So it's a very well made, very nice, very functional gun. And again, you can look back at the previous videos if you want more details. One other detail worth mentioning, the Tisas magazines are cross-compatible with the SIG P226, for whatever that's worth. And they drop free nicely, they insert nicely. There's not a lot of beveling on the magwell, but there's beveling on the magazine, so it's fine. And it's a really solid, really good gun. And for the price, it's fantastic because these are on the Tisas website in like 5 different variations for $299 for any of them, which means that with shipping and transfer fees, you're going to be out the door for about $400. And that seems like a steal for a gun of this quality and capability. Now, you might worry, as people very justifiably did the first time these were imported, about finding yourself with an orphan. So the reason these guns came in, and the reason that they are all $299, is that they're warehouse leftovers from Tisas, according to the importer SDS, and they are disposing of them. But they also laid in a stock of parts, magazines, etc. So you are not going to find yourself orphaned if you buy one of these. Also, if they prove popular enough, they may start bringing them in on a regular basis. Now, I'm willing to bet that if they do that, these are not going to be $299. They are going to be significantly more expensive. And that's okay, because they're worth significantly more than you have to pay for them at this time. It's a great gun. It's been reliable, pleasant to shoot. Nobody fired this gun that did not like it. And given the variety of people that have fired it at this point, that's not nothing. So I'm going to give it a thumbs up. I'm going to say, if you want one, you will not be disappointed. And if you are, SDS Tisas USA have a pretty good rep for customer support and quality control. So hard to see you losing if you're in the market for this kind of gun. So that's it. I'm going to keep shooting it because I like it. I'm going to have Rain City Tactical make a custom holster for it because I'm going to use it. It's a great gun. I love shooting it. Why wouldn't I? So there it is. Hope this finds you well. Stay safe, take care, and we'll talk to you again real soon.